this Walt Williams card, man.
It's really great.
Look at that face. I mean, this is it.
Authentic. 222 out of 500 signature card.
Oh, this is so good.
It's a great card. I bet there's a cheaper option.
I bet there's a cheaper one. Yeah. I mean, this is make an offer, so it could be infinitely cheap. Look at that Twizzler ad in the background, too. Everything is just... This is legitimately the greatest.
I found it for 9 cents cheaper. So...
$14.92.
Ooh, and it's also in 2 inches of screw down lucite, as it should be,
as it deserves to be. So this is why I did not want to do this tomorrow. This exact scenario.
Because we start talking about Walt Williams cards.
Howdy, everyone, and welcome to our special mailbag episode of Due for a Win, the Atlantic City and Casino Biz podcast. I'm Kyle Askin, joined as always by Craig Stone. What's good, Craig?
Can we keep talking about Walt Williams basketball cards instead of questions from our listeners?
Other than our 45-minute conversation we just had about our ridiculous 1990s websites, which somehow turned into us looking up Walt Williams basketball cards on eBay.
Yeah, we're literally 40 minutes into this call already. In case there's any doubt about how this has devolved. But we're focused now.
Episode, I can tell.
We're focused now and ready to answer emails, I think. Just incredibly...
So, the question is, Craig, should we be pretentious enough to call this mailbag episode number 1?
You think there's going to be future mailbag episodes?
That's the question. I think we can.
I think we can. Mailbag, Volume 1.
Right.
Of many.
Yeah. We'll get so many.
Look, you don't want to number this out of 500 like an autographed Walt Williams card.
At Maryland.
Wow, jokes that only we will laugh at.
That's fine. I will say, just as a shout out, even though we didn't include this in the mailbag episode, Craig did reach out and tell me today that he got a piece of mail that said someone's mother lived in Clark, New Jersey, so they loved that segment of... I guess it'd be a few episodes ago now by the time you listen to this, but
I said
it's awesome.
Yeah, somebody emailed saying they know Clark, New Jersey. They were laughing their head off, so I knew somebody would get it.
Yep, that was the one person that you said would get it, and they loved it.
So thank you for confirming that.
Yes. Does this person have a name, Craig?
I don't have my
your Due for a Win Gmail.
Due for a Win Gmail up.
Well, thank you, mystery person. Yeah, I appreciate your kind words.
Yes, thank you very much to Mark, who sent the email. Yeah.
And thank you to the Clark Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring Due for a Win.
Yeah. Clark, a good place to visit.
Clark, when you really need to go for a Target.
Yes, there are no Targets anywhere else. That's it.
Okay. All right. So... as we stated when we were reached out to ask for questions, we wanted to just have a mailbag episode. Partially to have content, since I am on break right now. But B, to hopefully answer some questions that you guys had about Atlantic City and to provide some value to you. So I think we can just jump right in, unless you have anything else you want to say, Craig.
No, we got some good questions. This all started with Nick actually emailing us before we even asked for questions. And so... he's now had to wait like 2 months for us.
By the time this actually airs, I mean, he probably asked it about a month ago, and it'll be another while before it airs. So,
yeah, it's a while.
All right. So, Nick's question was, can you devote some time in the next podcast? Which the answer was no.
Yeah, the next podcast at that time was like number 54,
3 or something. Yeah, to talk through ways CET can address their awful online reservation page. Is this follow-up from Nick? Should I read that as well?
Yes, yeah, also from Nick.
All right. So his follow-up was that he's not a high roller, and he's played around with tier credits to try and find a sweet spot. He doesn't get comps often anymore, but he does get mailers. The mailer codes show available online, but I try to book, no luck 95% of the time. So he had to call Caesars to book a reservation, and then it worked. Yes. So... I have some notes just about Caesars first, and then I know you have a bunch of notes about Caesars, and then we can talk about some other casinos as well. So, on Caesars, my experience has been with the online portal, which is something that I think we've talked extensively about, especially in the earlier episodes of the show. Putting codes in, it doesn't really do anything. For the most part, I've found that if you want to book a room, you should just put in your TR number and don't bother putting in codes and just look at the rate calendar. And that'll be your best bet most of the time. But as you said, if you do have a code for, let's say, Sunday through Friday comp rooms, it might not even show once you put the code in online. You'll probably just have to call and ask, and they'll give it to you.
Yeah, so there was a while where it was broken and it wasn't showing your offers. When we started the podcast, that was true. Historically, it always would just include your offers anytime you did the calendar. And if you don't know this, if you're a Total Rewards member and you're looking to book and you don't know this, you can just go to totalrewards.com, sign in with your account, click Book Now at the top of the page, and then there's 2 radio buttons, and one of them is exact dates and one of them is flexible dates. So if you click flexible dates and then click Atlantic City in the drop-down menu for location and just select Atlantic City, don't pick a specific hotel, it'll give you a calendar with Bally's, Caesars, and Harrah's, and it'll show you the next month of room rates, and you can click through to see the future. So it's a really good way to see all your rates. There was a little while where it wasn't showing your offers, so it wouldn't include your discounts. That got fixed, although I can't actually confirm that it's working right at this moment because I definitely have comp offers, and when I go and look, I have no rooms cheaper than like $28 or some weird number, so I'm a little confused about that. So I don't know, maybe if I have to book in the next month or two, I might have to call as Nick did, because it seems like I have no comps. Like for a while I was getting comps basically any weeknight in October or November, and now it's like no comps at all. So either they hate me or the offers aren't working.
Or both.
Also entirely possible that it's both.
Yeah. So I think we've talked about CET a little bit, and while I think Craig and I both agree there are things they could do better, and their website is in various states of broken most of the time, I still think it's one of the best websites in all of Atlantic City, which is really shows what a sad state of affairs the IT infrastructure behind these casinos in Atlantic City are. You don't disagree with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the best, and it's not even close, which is just sad. Like it's not even great, but it's still the best.
I think historically, I think Borgata's is
it's fine,
quite good. It serves all the purposes it needs to. It has a rate calendar. I've never had an issue with Borgata's. It includes your offers. Things are booked in. I'd say that's probably the best.
Yeah. My issue is that my rates are high. But that's not their fault.
Not really an IT issue.
Right. Yeah, Caesars has more IT issues, I think, than Borg. But the others...
I'll also say, recently, so the most up and down website in my experience has been Tropicana, where I remember... So right now, their website's in good shape. You can log in. It'll show you your offers. You'll be able to book a comp room. You'll be able to select the room, and it's great. Before a few months ago, last time I booked a room there, the website was just horrifically broken. You couldn't do anything online. And this was for multiple years, I feel like. It was like this. Like, I feel like there's a long period of time where just the Tropicana, hotel booking did not work.
Yeah, it was very hard to convince the website that you had an account, I think was a problem. I'll say that right now I have, supposedly based on an email, Monday through Thursday comps in either the West Tower or the Chelsea Tower, and I just spot checked it, and I cannot get any date to actually say that I have a room. Like, anytime I pick a date, it's like, no room's available, pick another date. So, similar complaint.
Yeah.
It could be just that...
it could be that my play's strong enough that I show up for other reasons there, kind of like the Caesars thing.
Right, and it's... So, in case you're not aware, and I'll probably butcher this because I'm certainly not a comp expert, but they block off a bunch of rooms every night for players, for people in the Players Club, and as they start to sell, they'll sort of move up the list, at least as far as I understand it, where like the lowest level players, even if you have an offer for like generic Monday through Thursday or whatever, on specific dates, they'll sort of boot you from the list. Like it'll no longer be available for you. It'll show up as sold out, which is actually kind of my complaint with Borgata, is that there will be a lot of times where Borgata will tell me that it's sold out. And if I'm logged in, it actually like will not let me book a room. If I pick any date, even if I'm not trying to use an offer or anything, it'll just say like, choose another room. We don't have it. But if I'm not logged in, I can actually book a room, or I can book a room through hotels.com or whatever. So like that should never happen. So that is a complaint about Borgata. Caesars doesn't seem to have that problem as often. Trop, when I go in through an offer right now, it'll just tell me there's no rooms available with that offer, and it'll force me to go through the standard booking procedure.
Mm-hmm. Which honestly is the way it should work if there's really no rooms, but I don't think there's really no rooms right now.
No. I mean, Trop does pretty well, but I don't think it does that well. I would guess if I called, I would get a different answer.
Yeah.
So then there's
there's resorts.
Yeah, that's like the low-tech option, right?
Right. So resorts, you can see your offer pamphlet online. Like you can see a PDF version of the mailer.
Yes.
And so you can get your rates that way, because the mailer usually says what your rates are. And then you actually have to call a number to make a reservation.
And that, again, you know, if it says Sunday through Thursday comp, that doesn't mean you can just figure any Sunday through Thursday you're set and you can call and you'll get a room. It means for your play level, you may call on some dates and they'll say, actually, we don't have anything available for you.
You're right. Which has happened to me many, many times at resorts.
Right, and that's something really important to keep in mind. I think a lot of people get that mailer or that email that says Sunday through Thursday comps, and they say, okay, well, I want to go this specific Thursday, so I'm good to go. I don't need to worry about booking until a week ahead of time. So it's fine because I've got this mailer that says any Sunday through Thursday. That is not how it works. Everything's subject to availability, and availability doesn't mean that they need to have a room available to someone in the casino. It means specifically to your play level. So don't think like it's sort of open until the casino sold out. Generally, if you know there's a date that you want to go, call early and book it, especially if it's free cancellation. Like Caesars is free cancellation, so book early if you get comped in a room that you would accept, you know, because there's no downside. But also, I think both of us have experienced with resorts, call, and if you get told they don't have any availability, call back.
Keep calling.
Call back. Yeah. Call as it gets closer.
Call every day, yeah.
Yeah, and then certainly, typically, you know, as it gets down to like the week of or even the night before, things start to open up.
Things open up. People cancel their trips.
Yeah, people who have booked with this in mind that there is no downside end up canceling and rooms open up. So keep checking, and, you know, like I say, for things that you want on the internet to purchase that are in demand, like never underestimate the power of mashing refresh until something appears available. Same is kind of true for room rates. Like keep calling until you get what you want. And I expect with CET, with Caesars, like right now I have an offer for, I think, Bally's, that says I get a free room, but just nothing's showing up on the calendar. I expect if I called, I would get a different answer if I called and kept calling. Although the one thing I'll say about CET is they seem to be whoever you call, like whatever number it redirects you to, they seem to just like punch your information into the web and kind of parrot back the same information you can see on the Total Rewards site. But I don't know. Nick said he had some success with calling and pushing it on the offers, so I would definitely call and say, hey, I have this offer, like what can you give me? And having flexible dates is also big, like not being restricted to one specific date. If you can kind of be flexible, it's true with any travel, you're going to get a better discount if you have some flexibility.
Yep. So you tried to steer us away from my bottom of the barrel IT solution, which for me in Atlantic City, and other people might have a different experience given my experiences so far, has to be Golden Nugget, where the only mailers and stuff I get say you have to call the casino to get your casino rates, and that is not a thing I'm going to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine calling, but yeah, it's definitely like...
I'm not going to call to just find out how much I have the the right to pay to get a room.
Yeah, like here's a code, call, mention the code. Which is what Resorts is pretty much that way.
But they tell you what your rates are going to be.
Yes, they at least tell you that you're comped.
My communications from Golden Nuggets are, if you want to know the casino rate, you have to call.
Yeah, that's very weird. I'm not going to call.
I got an email telling them, with them being like, hey, your mailer's online, please sign in and take a look at it. And I tried to do it when I got that email, and the website, it crashed. So
awesome. Yeah, I agree. We've never booked at Golden Nugget. I've never stayed at Golden Nugget. Stayed. So I'm interested to see if anybody has better experience with Golden Nugget booking online.
Yeah, it might be. If you're in the system and you play enough to get comped, there might be some way to do it. But I suspect in the best of cases, it's similar to Resorts. So
yeah, and I think, certainly a lot of the people that sort of we've talked to or have emailed with us use a host at Resorts, and then it's a totally different process.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I think that's the answer to that question and our thoughts on the various booking systems in Atlantic City. He did have a follow-up question, which you forwarded on to Eric. So if you want to read that.
Sure. So he said, do I hurt my ADT, which is my average daily theoretical, basically how much you're expected to lose to the casino based on what you play for how long over the course of a day? Do I hurt my ADT when I swipe in at multiple CET casinos in one gaming day, or are they linked at all? Should I just play at Caesars when I go down in 2 weeks, which probably happened a month ago at this point? Or can I go back and forth between Bally's and Caesars? So, ignoring the fact that I can barely speak because of allergies, I emailed Eric Rosenthal, who's been on the show a couple times and is our resident expert comp harvester. And his response was, CET maintains both a property-specific ADT as well as a destination-wide ADT. So that would be like Bally's, Caesars, Harrah's all have separate ones, as well as like Atlantic City or, Vegas. They sort of understand what your ADT is. In this scenario, property-specific will hurt, meaning like if you casino hop on one trip or in one day, your property-specific ADT will be hurt, but your destination-specific will not. So he says, most properties make offers based on your ADT at individual properties. A mailer from Caesars Atlantic City is based on your play at Caesars Atlantic City only. Caesars National Marketing, which is like Caesars Entertainment entirely, can and will also make offers based on destination play, and they use destination ATT, which is average trip theoretical based on, an entire trip to a destination. When looking for room comps or other extras such as free play, in general, they are only looking at property-specific ADT. So in that case, like your specific comps, so even though if you're looking at your rate calendar and you see Bally's, Caesars, Harrah's, and you think I earned X number of tier credits or rewards credits or whatever, and you think that that's going to help you across all properties in general, if you play a bunch at Harrah's, you're going to get better offers at Harrah's. If you play a bunch at Caesars, you're going to get better offers at Caesars. If you split it up over all three properties, you're going to kind of hurt your offers in general from all three properties. Probably not as bad as if you split it up between something like Bally's, Resorts, and Golden Nugget. Like, obviously, the three of them are totally separate, but it seems like in general, if you really want to maximize comps, you should probably stick to one property. You and I definitely are into casino hopping and kind of bounce around. So we said in the past we get more value out of hopping from casino to casino than we do out of like any incremental gains we might get by saying we'll only play at Caesars for this day or something like that. So, and we haven't given up on that, but obviously your mileage may vary. Do you have anything to add to that portion of Eric's response?
Not really. I mean, I've seen some. I've had some experience with this. I think historically we've both gotten better comps from Harrah's and Bally's than Caesar. But I think right now, well, Harrah's I always tend to get the best comps for, but my Caesars comps recently have been much better than my Bally's comps, which kind of gets backed up by this because I play at Caesars a lot more than Bally's. But I've also gotten communications from CET kind of national marketing to offer me cheap flights to Reno or Tahoe or whatever. So this all sounds good to me.
Yeah, so if you value sort of that kind of stuff, like the flights and the trips, or like the crew, if there's an episode just recently about booking cruises on You Can Bet on That. If you value that kind of stuff, that's probably mostly going to be national casino marketing through CET. That stuff doesn't matter as much, but if all you want is a room someplace and slot play, focusing your play at your preferred hotel is probably better. Eric also added, my understanding is that they regularly reprioritize the data just to test and measure how effectively they can increase whatever initiative they are currently running. There's rarely a simple answer to what appears to be a simple question regarding CET marketing and offers if you want to be complete and accurate. So that's just something to keep in mind. They're always tweaking it. I think, we've talked a lot about this, and especially in regards to CET when it comes to things like Founders Card, because obviously the first question everybody asks about Founders Card is like, if I get Founders Card, am I just going to get, free rooms for life or free rooms for the duration of my Founders Card? That is not a simple answer, and even we've heard conflicting things on that. Like some people have said, oh, I very quickly got comps in Vegas. Some people said it didn't change my rates at all, but I got all the other perks like, Diamond Lounge access and all that kind of stuff. So it's important to keep in mind that any advice you get or even your own experiences may be different 6 months from now than they are now. And you'll even see that in, if you play consistently, you may suddenly see your rates go up or down for whatever reason, like they've just redone how they value people. And it's very, CET especially is like incredibly data driven. And so any little tweak in their rating may make a difference in the room rates you get or the offers you get, and you may see it change back. It's very weird. So that's all just stuff to keep in mind. I mean, I personally see my rates go from comped every weekday to no comps, which is what I have now seemingly, and then it'll go back to all comps even without me ever going. So I don't know. It's kind of wild and crazy, but in general, if you're really set on getting like comped rooms, comps from one specific property, focusing on one property is probably in your best interest, but we also don't practice that in our own gambling. So
no, we definitely don't.
Take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, it looks like I have comp basically everywhere during the week right now at Caesars, and not on the weekends, but my weekend rates tend to be like under $50, so whatever. Just one more piece of follow-up. If I had to guess, my best guess is if you do Founders Card, it's probably not really going to change your rates. It's possible that there's some block just for Diamond members that may become available and you may get comped slightly more, but I'm not sure. I don't think my comps have changed between going from Gold to Diamond to Gold. And I know we've talked about it in the past on the show, but when I was Diamond for the 2.5 or 3 years or however long I had Diamond, I was probably one of the worst comp Diamond players in the system because I don't play like a Diamond player for the most part. I got my Diamond through Diamond in a Day, which we'll talk about shortly. But yeah, it didn't really change my offers a whole lot. So I tend to think that Founders Card probably won't either.
Yeah, that certainly seems to be the prevailing wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks very much, Eric, for emailing us with that info.
Yep.
Very helpful.
Thank you, as always, to Eric. So, do we want to talk about Diamond in a Day, since I just brought it up?
Yeah, let's jump to that.
So, Carl in the Facebook group, our fellow University of Maryland graduate, asked to hear a rundown on when I did Diamond in a Day a few years ago. And I actually posted a link to the now defunct Vegas Tripping forums where I talk about it in some detail. But just to rehash it, I think I've talked about it in the past on the podcast, but for the new listeners, I can talk about it briefly again. So I did Diamond in a Day in early 2014, January or February, I'm pretty sure. And I did it at Caesars. These machines are actually still there. In the high limit slot area, there's two $2.96 jacks or better machines in the high limit area, or it might be 3 of them. And back when I did this, they were full comp video poker machine, so it was 10-1, $10 in, which is one spin on a $2 machine, give you a tier credit. So diamond in a day is 5,000 tier credits in a day, so I had to just put $50,000 through the machine, and I did a lot of math, which Craig can attest to figure out what that should cost me, and I decided the risk was worth it, and I sat down to do my 5,000 spins of jacks or better, knowing that if things started looking bad, I was going to stop, but if things look approximately like within one standard deviation of normal, I could keep doing the whole thing. If you look at it just purely, including all possible outcomes, I think I was expected to lose something like $240 to get diamond in a day, but it was closer to like $1,300 if you assume you're not going to hit a royal flush in that time, which royal flush is obviously kind of an outlier. It's a very high variance event where you win $8,000, but it doesn't happen especially often. Or $4,000, $8,000
on a $2 machine.
Yeah, $8,000.
Yeah.
So, right, it's a high variance event, so it's not something that I wanted to count on. And I ended up losing just right around $1,300, which is about what the math expected me to lose. It was a very average gambling session. So, those machines in Caesars right now are now 20-1. So it's $20 in for one tier credit. So just to give you an idea, I think I can play video poker quite quickly, and it still took me north of 6 hours to do. It was probably 6.5 hours or something like that. So if you double the amount of coin in that I need to do to get diamond, you make it 10,000 spins instead of 5,000 spins, would have taken me north of 12 hours, and that is just a long time to sit at a video poker machine. I don't think I would do it now. As long as that machine stays 20-1, which I will almost certainly guarantee it will, I wouldn't do it that way. Just knowing from talking to people like Eric, there are times you can do diamond in a day by waiting until you get like a really, really big rewards credit multiplier. Like sometimes they have a random rewards credit multiplier, and if you get something like 100 times reward credits, that makes it worthwhile to even just get a bunch of tier credits on a slot machine. But short of that, no, I'm not going to get diamond again anytime soon, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean...
Any questions for me about that, Craig?
I don't think I have questions, but I'll just mention that it's not just that you had the standard deviations down of what you could expect to lose. You also had the time that you expected to play. Like you sort of had a general estimate. I think you were pretty close on both. Like it was pretty impressive to see. I think you figured it would be right around 6 hours. It was a little over that, and I think you figured $1,300 to $1,500, and it was in that range.
It was right around there. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I'll say, and I think this is still true, is that if you're looking to level up someplace, and you don't really care where, Tropicana at the Royal Derby machine is a tier credit per dollar that you play. So if you really wanted to like get in and do the math, and I'm not the person to do this because I'm math challenged, I expect there's a way to play that machine at a high level where your exposure is pretty low. I mean, I think if like a bunch of long shots win during your play, you're probably going to get screwed. But I expect you can play at a very high level and just rack up a ton of tier credits. I mean, I play like $1 a bet when I play, and I will sit there in a session for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and rack up just a ton of tier credits. It's also, Tropicana also does tier credits like 5 times as fast as Caesars, so the tier credits to level up it's way more tier credits, so it's not going to be as fast as the tier credits are worth less than they're worth at Caesars, so keep that in mind. Like 1,000 tier credits at Trop is not as good as 1,000 tier credits at Caesars. It's not as close to leveling up. But, if somebody wanted to figure that out, I'd be very interested to hear it. It's one of those things I've sort of thought about, but then been like, am I really going to sit at Royal Derby for 6 hours? Probably not.
Well, but, so, what does that get you? slot machines at Trap are probably also 1-to-1. I would guess.
Right.
So you think that's better odds than a slot machine? I guarantee it's almost certainly worse.
I think that you can have more of a guarantee that you're going to be within a standard deviation because of the way the horses are.
So it's like the equivalent of going with a huge bankroll and putting money on the pass and the don't pass.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely more of you're going to take a guaranteed loss. Whereas if you go play slots, you can hope that you hit the jackpot. I think that's the big difference.
Right. I mean, I don't think it's a good idea, just because I don't think you're getting a very good deal. I don't think Royal Derby is better than the slot machine, so I don't think you should do it.
Yeah,
I don't think it's in any way special.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you really enjoy Royal Derby and you have a high tolerance for losing if it comes to that.
Sure, but
it might be worth it. But that's true for
you can say that about anything, right?
Yeah. I'd be interested to see the data, but I expect the hold percentage on Royal Derby is higher than slots. I do agree with that.
Trop is weird too because they don't exactly have 1-to-1 mappings from cards from Trop to Caesar because they have 5 levels instead of 4.
Right.
So it's not Diamond is it's not equivalent to Gold, which is their 3rd level, but it's probably closer to Platinum, which is a lot of tier credits, 100,000. So Platinum's significantly harder to get than Diamond is, at least by coin in.
Platinum at Tropicana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Platinum at Caesars, yes, is A, worthless, and B, not especially hard to get.
Right. Also, you can
sign
up for the credit card.
Caesars, is it 4,000 tier credits?
I think it's 5, but it's also you sign up for the credit card and get it with no annual fee. But it also gets you next to nothing. It gets you like 10% at the gift shop or something. So any other thoughts on Diamond in a Day? Obviously, you said.
Yeah, I mean, it's unless there's some extraordinary reason for me to do it anytime soon, I don't think I will. Like I said, at 20-1, it's just gonna take too long at $2. I don't really want to play higher limit than that because if you go to $5, it's a lot of variance and it's a bit too big of a game for me. So I think the 10-1, $10 into 1 tier credit is the important thing for me there. So as long as it stays 20-1, I don't think I'm interested in trying to do it. Yeah, I will say, if you want to do Diamond in a Day at 20-1, it is still probably the best choice that you have if you're willing to put the time in.
Well, although it's still going to be significantly more expensive than Founder's Card, and I expect if you're just a video poker player, like if your Diamond is solely based on video poker, I don't know that you're going to see way better comps having earned it through Diamond in a Day on video poker than you will through Founder's Card. But your mileage may vary. I don't know on that so much, but it seems like the cost will be significantly less. The cost is definitely going to be significantly less than playing through it on a 20-1 machine.
Yeah. I mean, well, it'll be half as much, right?
Yeah.
10-1, 20-1. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Anyway, those are my quick thoughts on Diamond in a Day. It was cool when I did it, and it was nice to have Diamond for a couple of years, and I'm glad I did it. But yeah, right now, especially with it's not like I'm going to Atlantic City a ton right now in my life, so it's just probably not worth it for me right now. Even though I can just pay whatever $300 a year and get Diamond, it's by Founder's Card. It's still not really worth it, I don't think.
Yeah. So, should we move on to the next questions?
Yeah.
Michael Traeger at Travelzork, posted on the Facebook group a couple of questions, and I'll sort of read them both, and then I think we actually want to answer the second one first. So he said, I would be curious what you consider the most bang for the buck in terms of which casino gives the best comps. For a low roller table game player in Atlantic City, best might include drink service, comps earned for play, and most important, future comp offers, which in AC weekend room rates would probably be key. I tend to think there are very few discretionary comps at the $25-ish level anymore, but if there are, that would also be very interesting. So discretionary comps, if you don't know, is like a pit boss giving you a comp for a buffet right after you play, or, show tickets, not out of your rewards credits or comp dollars. He said he would also be interested in what we consider a high roller. Like, what sort of play do we consider a high roller? He said, I have some personal opinions, but I'm always curious what others are thinking. I think it's kind of interesting to sort of answer the high roller question first. Like, what do we break down as like a low, mid, high roller? I think we both consider ourselves low rollers. I
think I'm maybe like low medium.
Yeah, I would put you in low medium. I
don't think I'm a low roller. I'm farther away from a high roller than a low roller, though.
Yeah, and I'm at the definition of a low roller.
Yeah, you're definitely a low roller.
So like, to define low roller for me, I think basically is somebody who's always playing whatever the lowest limits at the casinos are. And like, so that's probably an AC $15 blackjack, $10 craps, $20 or $25 pie poker, somebody who's playing penny slots and not spending more than $1 a spin, like is 40 cents or 50 cents a spin, whatever the minimum on the slot machine is. So generally I would say you're probably a low roller if you're going to Atlantic City and like playing at the lowest levels at the table games, or playing penny slots, or playing quarter video poker, and you're going in thinking your budget is $300 or less per day of gambling. Like that's sort of where I'm at generally for my own play, and I think that is pretty consistently would be considered a low roller.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you're not the lowest of low rollers. When I think of like real low roller, like I think of someone who, if they see $15 blackjack, they're like, oh no, that's way too much. Right? I consider people that only play 5 or 10, and you play 15, right?
Yeah, but a lot of times like 15 is about 15's what you
like
get on a Friday limit. Or Saturday. Yeah. It would be, I would have to be feeling pretty drunk or whatever.
Have you ever played quarter?
To play quarter. I think I definitely did in Puerto Rico because it was the only thing available. I don't know that I've ever played quarter blackjack in Atlantic City. I wouldn't be averse to it. I don't like how fast it is, but I could see myself doing it for sort of a short session, especially if I was having a particularly good trip. Mm-hmm. But it's funny because I think the thing about this question that I like is that I expect there are a lot of people who are, 7 stars, who come with big bankrolls, who would say a quarter blackjack player is a low roller.
Yeah, probably.
I would say a quarter blackjack player, somebody who's consistently playing...
Quarter blackjack player is kind of low roller.
Yeah, I would say if you're consistently playing 25, you're like low, touching mid. Yeah, you're like low mid. I think, but it depends on, are you ever going above that? Like if you're playing at a $25 table and every once in a while you putting out more than that, or you're, I don't know. I would certainly not say $50 is a low roller. Like that's getting into much.
I think $50 sounds like the definition of like a middle roller to me.
Yeah,
like so for me, like that's about. I've played lots and lots and lots of quarter blackjack or quarter craps or whatever, and I have no problem doing it. Quarter craps actually, it can go fast in quarter craps, but I'll play a quarter of basically anything and it'll be fine. And I have played $50 of stuff. $50 is probably about my limit, though. I wouldn't, with my bankroll, be comfortable doing black chip. So I think 50 is probably where, like, I'll play $50 blackjack with people, and that would be fine. I would have no problem with that.
Yeah, so to me, 50 is where you're really talking mid-roller. Mm-hmm. And I would say that once you get to black chip, I would call that a high roller.
Okay.
But so here's the thing. Like, to me, just based on what I would play, I would say if you're playing $100 a hand blackjack, or really $100, I don't know, $100 pie gow is not really the same. Certainly $100 craps is high roller.
It actually is. I mean, blackjack and pie gow have very similar.
Yeah, but pie gow's so slow.
House edges over. Yeah, but the house edge is more.
Sure.
I think the casinos probably can expect to make about the same amount of money from both.
Like over, based on time.
Over an hour, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But I certainly would be much quicker to play $25 pie gow than blackjack. But maybe that's just
because the variance is lower.
Yeah, lower variance, sure. Mm-hmm. I would have said $100 a high roller, I don't know, 2 years ago. Because it seemed so foreign to me to even consider considered black chip on every hand. Mm-hmm. I think as I get older and get more discretionary income, it's less crazy, but I would still consider that, like, if you're betting $100 a hand, you probably should be expecting, like, 7-night-a-week comps, like better food, beverage offers, and all that stuff. Yeah. No, I don't know that I think that's the higher end of medium getting into toward high.
$100 is mid-roller. $100 is the level that you can really expect at most casinos. Like, you'll probably get room and board if you're playing $100 a hand for 4 hours or 6 hours or whatever. But that's not a high roller. Yeah, that's like at a nice casino. Like, that's what they're probably expecting for your let's say above basic rooms and whatever food you want, and that's probably the level where, like, hosts will actually be interested in you. And I don't think it's high roller. I don't even think it's especially close.
I think that's the funny thing about this question is, like, the people who are real high rollers, like, really, they would scoff at this. Like, they would think...
No, I don't think so. I mean, so for me, high roller is like $100 is like middle. High roller is, I don't know if like $300 a hand is enough, but that's like kind of getting there. 5, I certainly would, like, I would call that a high roller. Like, of course, if you're a whale, you'd still even laugh at that, but I think that is significant enough to be, like, limit at some lower end tables, either 3 or 5. I've seen both at some lower end properties. That's where high roller kind of starts for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because it all depends on where you're at, right? Like, as a low roller, like, my standard for what I consider a high roller is going to be much lower. So it's funny to think about it from that perspective.
But yeah, of course, I mean, it's always going to be in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
But for me, low roller is up to 25. Middle is above that to 1 or 200, and then high roller is above that.
I like that standard. I think that's good.
I think up to 25 low, 50 to 200 middle, and then 3 and up alcohol high.
So that's the due for a win standard.
That is what.
Yeah. Seal of approval. When you come in and you order, like, the tall grande venti, like that, it is up to 25, up to whatever 200 and above. There you go. Done.
But yet, I mean, I'm sure that we have people on both ends of the spectrum are probably like, whoa, like, I'm a low roller, I would never play quarter blackjack or whatever. So,
right. I mean, if you
I understand that.
So it's, and that's an interesting point. Like, I listen to You Can Bet on That, and I hear people call in and they say, they're going and playing in downtown Vegas, or they're going and playing in, even more like Priam or Laughlin or something. And they're like, oh, I really didn't even want to play $5 craps, but they didn't have any $1 or $3 tables open. And to me, it's like, $5 craps, like, that's not even a thing that exists. So I don't even understand how that's possible. Or people who expect to find $5 blackjack or even less, like, and part of that is, like, everybody thinks, not everybody, but certainly I think the higher you play, you think the people below you are like, that's not a high roller. Like, nobody can be a high roller until they're betting more than I am. I think that's probably something that's true.
Maybe.
But we should also answer the other question, which is bang for the buck in Atlantic City, as far as like, if you're a low roller table game player in Atlantic City, where are you getting the best drink service, where are you getting the best comps earned for play, and where are you getting the best room offers?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I think
drink service is kind of cut and dry.
I've actually... Yeah, I know you're going to say Caesars.
Yes. I mean, Caesar, Sarah's, Valleys, they all have the machine drink order very fast at all of them.
Valleys is pretty horrible, though, so you shouldn't go there.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably going to get better comps at Valleys if you're playing there consistently, but it's just not worth it.
For a true low roller, I'd say Resorts is probably your best bet. The drink service at Resorts has always been good for me. Not as good as Caesars, but it's honestly, it's always been good. It's not like Tropicana where the drink service is non-existent. Legitimately just not there.
It's fairly consistent. And as far as gaming rules, I think as a low roller, like the gaming rules at Resorts are incredibly player friendly.
They do have stand-on soft 17 blackjack, which
you can find for
quite rare in
$10,
Atlantic City.
Which is crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they are reasonably generous with their room offers. Comps earned for play, I think I have the impression that most places comp around the same amount. Do you agree? Like, I usually get like $10 in comps each property I'm at Atlantic City any given time.
Yeah, I mean, I think, sure, yeah, as far as like rewards, credits, whatever, right. I think that it's generally about the same. I think if you're looking for like future free play, Resorts, I think, is more generous than Caesars. I think Caesars is pretty stingy when it comes to things like free play. Borgata is surprisingly generous when it comes to things like match play.
Yeah,
I would actually
for room comps.
Yeah, so I would actually say like you'd be shocked at how much match play you'll get at Borgata. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's changing significantly with MGM.
Well, I actually don't get match play anymore. So do you?
Bad sign. I haven't gotten it in a while, but I've also my play there has just gone to nothing.
I haven't played there in a long time either.
But yeah, you're not going to get the rooms at Borgata at all as a low roller. Like, you are probably not going to get very many comps. And one thing to mention actually is there's a big difference between a low roller slot player and a low roller table player in that
right. All the comps are really with the slot players.
Right.
Sure.
The casino is going to treat you much, much better. If your gambling budget is $200 a day, you're going to get much better offers spending that $200 on slot play than on table play. In that the hold percentage is higher, the average daily theoretical is going to be higher.
Right.
For you, the money's probably going to last longer that way, and there's just no overhead really for the casino, or very minimal overhead for you to play a slot, to be a slot player, because they don't have to pay the dealer. But, you know, if you don't have fun playing slots, or your capacity for slots is very limited, it's not worth it to switch from table game play to slot play just for some comps. Mm. Or even to up your denomination, really. And that's something I've thought about. Like, oh, maybe I should just play some quarter slots. And it's like, I don't like slots that enough to, like, increase my risk factor on slots that much. But Tropicana is an interesting one.
Yeah, I get great room comps there. I don't get very good like match play or slot dollars, and the drink service is awful. So
yeah, so
if you just want a room, like my experience has been, Trop is very generous with rooms. They have like a zillion rooms now that they have the Chelsea too. So.
Right. So both our group and the Everything AC Casinos Facebook group, I've seen multiple times people say, yeah, Trop is very, very generous to low rollers. I think that's mostly in terms of room comps. I don't know that I've ever gotten any kind of free play at Trop, like just nothing from them. Mm-hmm. But like right now I'm getting Monday through Thursday rooms, which I've not played at Trop very much at all to get that. And it seems like if you are focusing your play there, you're probably going to be set for rooms for midweek. And they're pretty generous if you're even a little bit above the low roller status that we talked about. So do you have a recommendation? Like, where's your place that you would recommend for low rollers?
Resorts, probably.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they cater to locals, which generally means below ADT players. It also means they're, locals aren't taking up rooms typically. So we've had pretty good luck. Like, I haven't played at resorts much lately, so my comps have kind of dried up, but it doesn't take much to get comps there. Off-peak, even Saturday, like Friday night comps, you don't have to play too much to get that extended to 7 nights a week. So I would say resorts is probably the most generous.
Yeah, the casino floor is fairly nice. They'll give you drinks, unlike Tropicana.
Yeah. And one last thing, the discretionary comps, I would have to agree that if you're a $25 player or less, you're not going to get too much in the way of like asking a pit boss unless you're really adamant about it. If you're really like angling for it, you might get it.
I think my impression is that's kind of a thing in the past. So when I first started going to Atlantic City in 2005, we would ask, you were all 21 and probably a-holes, but we'd ask for a free buffet or whatever, and they'd still like pull out the sheet of paper and like write on it that you get a free buffet. But it was very soon after we started going that they'd just be like, look at the amount of money you have on your card, and they're like, yeah, you can just go. You have a free buffet on your card,
pay it out,
but they will take your money out of your card to do it. So I think as now with cards, especially for kind of lower roller players, there's not really discretionary comps where a pit boss is going to give you something like that. I've never tried to get a room. It's probably something that like maybe he can do something with that. If you're a $25 player and you've been playing for a while and you're at a low roller casino, like a resorts or something, if you ask for a room, maybe he'll be able to do something. But I'm not even sure if they can really do that anymore. I think that was more from a previous time.
Yeah. And
that's my impression anyway.
And certainly around the recession, like 2008, 9, 10, I think it was much easier to get those kind of comps. I mean, I think they will still sort of acquiesce if you're really pushy asshole about it, but that's not really in my veins. Like, I would just rather not deal with any of that. Like, I don't need a buffet that bad. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see too much of that. And I think even for people who are higher rollers than us, like even mid rollers, we still hear from people in emails that their host will tell them for food and beverage, like, we're just going to clear out your rewards credits and then we'll see where we go from there.
Right.
So even for them, it's not just like blanket, hey, we'll comp you dinner at Morton's or whatever. It's still like, we're going to pay for it out of rewards credits, and if you go above that, we'll talk about it from there. So it does seem like the discretionary comps have dried up quite a bit, which is kind of a sign of improvement, but also a sign of just data's running everything.
Yep. All right, you want to move on?
Yeah. So go ahead.
So, at Epic Esquire on Twitter asked us for a Revel 10 update. Will it ever open? Were the players list and their tier levels part of the sale? For the second question, I don't know the answer. You may. I have to imagine the answer is yes, though. Yes, it would be legitimately mind-boggling if it wasn't.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything confirming that, but it's one of those things that it would be totally unbelievable if that was not bought by Glenn Straub as part of it. Straub is so hard to pin down on any specific. Like, he loves to play ignorant, so I doubt even if he was asked straight up if he would give a straight answer. But yeah, I don't know. So this is Doug, who's running or helping set up, really the main person setting up the casino trip in Connecticut in April at Epic Esquire, like you said on Twitter. So that's not a great answer as far as the players list. I expect
I'm sure the answer is yes, though. I hope so, because I'm holding my Ocean card right now for Revel, and I know it will unlock all of the riches inside that property. I'll get all the comps right as soon as it reopens again.
As soon as 10 opens under Glenn Straub.
Right. And so will it ever open? Probably not under Glenn Straub, but I think we're both optimistic he's going to sell at some point, hopefully soonish, and maybe it'll be open.
Yeah, so we haven't heard anything
next year. But we have no idea. Depends on if a sale happens or not.
Yeah, it seemed.
I don't think it's going to open under Glenstrap, though.
I agree. I'm totally at a point where I just can't imagine it opening under Straub under any circumstances unless it's a non-casino and he's totally given up on selling it. In which case, that's probably the worst case scenario, other than demolishing it. But the rumors as of maybe, 6 weeks ago at this point was that a sale was close and we were weeks away from it being announced. Obviously, last episode, or at least last news episode or 2 news episodes ago at this point, we talked about the offer from a financial services company or whatever it is, upping to $225 million. I don't think either of us thought that was that close, but the update is basically there is a company that seems interested. Whether they ever get to Glenn Straub's asking price or not, I think is a big question.
The real update for you people in the future listening is that you know way more about it than we do, given that this episode is probably going to come out in like 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah. So yeah, you will probably be far better informed than we are, unfortunately, given that we are living in the past.
Yeah, but certainly I would say don't hold your hopes out that Straub is going to be the guy to open it.
Right.
Which brings up the question that we also can't answer of, Straub still seems interested in Atlantic City as a whole and still has talked about Bader Field. Like, what is his role in Atlantic City if he sells 10? That's probably a whole episode.
Most people, I think the general consensus is that once he sells 10, he's probably gone from Atlantic City forever. He's moved on. He's not staying in the city anymore like he used to be when he first bought it. He's living back in Florida again. So I think the impression is that he's moved on, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's certainly the sense I get.
Mm-hmm.
So Robert B. in the Facebook group asked if we had any update on Trump Plaza and Atlantic Club. Since we talk about Revel all the time, he said, are those things just sort of sitting dormant? The answer to that is mostly yes. Yeah, so Trump Plaza we talked about, I don't know, it was probably 10 episodes ago at this point.
Yeah, 10 or 15 episodes ago.
Carl Icahn owns the Trump Plaza. They had looked into the prospects of demolishing it, and there were talks about what they could do with that space. Would it be, extending the walk outlets all the way to the boardwalk, which could be cool, or what are some other options? Because it's, kind of dead center in the boardwalk. And unfortunately, there are heating and cooling for Boardwalk Hall that run through Trump Plaza, which means that it's very difficult to demolish Trump Plaza without causing serious issues.
You have to basically redo the HVAC for Boardwalk Hall, which would be a many, many million of dollar project.
Yeah, so I think they said it would cost about $2.7 million to do that. Right now, the city is not in any position to do that. It's possible that CRDA could use funds to do that, but that's,
Yeah. So,
relies
on... and just in case you don't know, the news on Trump Plaza is for anything to happen there, it will have to be torn down. I think there are some pretty deep structural issues there, and it's not a property that can reopen as is. I think it's going to have to come down.
Yeah, it seems like any reconstruction would be really expensive. There's some talk that maybe they demolish it but leave the parking garage, and that for a little while there was talk that the parking garage could be useful for the playground as parking, and that's one of the problems that the playground has had, but nothing's come of that. And that was like really buried in an article about something totally unrelated. So I would take that with a pretty huge grain of salt on the playground, potentially purchasing Trump Plaza just for the use of the garage. Yeah. That's probably not going to happen.
Right. And so Atlantic Club has been sold twice to be turned into a water park, and both times the sale has fallen through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is sitting vacant right now waiting for a third person to buy it to try to turn it into a water park, just to realize they don't have funding.
Yeah, so it's owned by TJM Properties, who I believe is the same company that bought the Claridge from Bally's, from Caesars Entertainment, and did the renovations on that. They basically bought it on the cheap from, I guess it would have been Caesars. So there's a deed restriction on it. Can't be a casino unless surely you pay off Caesars. But no real word since the latest failed attempt to turn it into a water park. And obviously TJM is looking to flip it because they've now tried to do it a couple times. But we both love that property, and if we hear any update, we will update you.
If one of us hits the lottery, the property we're most likely to buy, I think, has to be Atlantic Club.
Yeah, so that's actually...
Despite our logo being of Trump Plaza, I think Craig did a bad job and probably should have made it Atlantic Club.
Yeah, we'll see what our answer is to a future question. Maybe the final question of the show.
Ever.
Yeah, ever.
So prepare yourself.
Right. So Jim and Derek, who are the proud owners of a YouTube channel, Jim and Derek, they do stand Grambling Tips. They are at Jim and Derek on Twitter. So asked, if you could change one thing about AC, what would it be? So what's your brilliant answer? How are you fixing AC?
Well, I think before we answer this, we should also say that our friend Dave, who, if you've met us, you may have also met Dave with us, asked if we could do one thing for AC, regardless of cost, that you think would help the city the most. What would it be? Which I think is the same question as Jim and Derek are asking.
Yeah, I think it's very similar.
Because I assume they're asking the question. I mean, it could just be for our personal edification, but probably both of us will say something that will, in theory, help the city.
Yeah, I agree. So what is it? Let's hear it. What's your grand plan?
I think... I mean, this isn't something you can throw money at necessarily to make happen, though.
I think we're on the same page.
You probably can. I think the biggest thing that it needs is the airport to be a bit bigger and actually have flights coming in.
No, we're not on the same page at all.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So what's yours?
I would say the boardwalk needs to be less t-shirt shops and head shops and more like shit that people actually want to go to.
Oh.
So.
Well, that's just going to happen naturally, I think. If more people show up, the rent of those properties are going to go up pretty dramatically, and it's going to price out a lot of the people that are there now. And
yeah,
to me, that's more of a symptom of the problem and not the problem.
But for my enjoyment, if I could change one thing, it would be like those shops would be better.
But you love Peanut World.
I do. So Peanut World can be the one shitty t-shirt shop. Everything else got to go. That's the plan.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the thing that AC needs is the thing that's holding it back. As you can't be a convention town if you don't have an airport. You can't be a huge tourist town if you don't have an airport. You can't do a lot of things if you don't have an airport. And sure, they have Spirit Airlines flying into Atlantic City, but people aren't flying Spirit for a lot of reasons. For one, they don't go to very many airports. For two, they're Spirit, so they have a ridiculous fee structure. Actually getting flights in Atlantic City Airport, I think, is the thing that would help the city the most.
So my pushback on this is, so you said mine is a symptom.
Yep.
I would maybe argue that the airport
mine is a symptom
in that you get more airlines interested in flying to Atlantic City if Atlantic City is a better tourist destination.
Less head shops and more nice retail.
Yeah, it's just if it's a bigger destination, if it is truly Vegas of the East, you're going to get more people like, I need to fly to Vegas, and demand is going to drive more carriers to fly to Atlantic City.
I believe that, of course, you're not totally wrong. This is a circle, and you can say that any one thing is either the cause of the issue or a symptom of it, but I just think that everything Atlantic City is trying to do from a tourism perspective, from a conference perspective, from a gambling perspective, it all just gets enhanced so much by actually being able to get people into town that are more than just driving there.
Yeah, I mean, the conference thing, I think, is big. That is something that...
Right, and it's not acceptable to be like, fly to Philadelphia and then take the train, or fly to Philadelphia and take a hour-long Uber or whatever.
That's true. That's a good point. So the other question that Dave had, our friend Dave, was if you had $1 billion to spend in Atlantic City, how would you spend it?
I don't know if Dave knows how much money that is in Atlantic City money.
It's a ton.
That is a lot of money.
Two Hard Rocks.
Yes, or like 12 Revels.
Yeah, so I'm going to spend it. So how are you going to spend it?
So what's my goal? Is it to get a return on my money? Is it to, you know,
he didn't specify.
What am I aiming to do?
He didn't specify. So you can, if you think your money's best spent by, you know, being a philanthropist and making Atlantic City amazing for, you know, the residents. Like if you want to buy everybody in Atlantic City a fancy home or like pay all their taxes or like give the money to the city so that the residents don't have to pay any taxes anymore. Those are all options. If you want to, you know, build yourself a castle, literally a sand castle that is on the beach and you can live in, that would also be an option.
If I want to just go straight to the resort's high limit room and just put it all on black
and hope that it becomes $2 billion.
Hope that it's $2 billion.
I think that's above the limit.
I don't think resorts would honor that bet.
I don't think they're going to take your action.
Yeah, I'll have to go to Las Vegas and go to Binion's.
Yeah, any bet people take. So what's your plan? $1 billion? Are you rebuilding the $1 million pier with a little like marble house at the end of it?
I could. That's a better plan than anything I was thinking of. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know what $1 billion is. So much money in Atlantic City. That's like way overkill. It's not wild interesting because you could literally buy like every piece of property in the city for $1 billion.
You could play Monopoly in the Monopoly City.
You could literally buy the city.
I mean, when you put it that way, that sounds pretty fun. Like, I'm just going to own the city now.
All right.
I'm now Nucky.
Well, okay. What would you do, Craig? And then I'll ask a better question.
Okay. Oh, a better question? There's no better question than this. So here's why. I'm going to buy the Trump Plaza.
Okay, so what are you going to do with your other $995 million?
Well, and this is why it's expensive. Because I'm tearing it down. I'm fixing the HVAC issues.
Sure. So what are you going to do with your other $980 million?
And what I'm building dead center of the boardwalk is a completely accurate replica of the Willy Wonka chocolate factory as an amusement park with nothing but Wonka slots. And also a chocolate store. And it's going to be an attraction like Disney World. And that's what I'm doing with my $1 billion. It's going to be the Disney World of Wonka chocolate in the Mid-Atlantic region. It's just going to play that Imagination song on loop until people kill themselves, like at Epcot Center. So that's what I got.
I still think you're going to have some money left over. But that is probably expensive.
I'll buy a lot of chocolate.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not even a big chocolate fan.
Yeah,
I'll take it to the resorts.
I'm not a dessert person. I don't really like sweets.
I love dessert, but chocolate's not really. That's not what I want to waste my calories on. Give me some ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream I do like. I will say that.
So $1 billion of ice cream later.
Yes. All right. So I think what if it was $50 million, which I think is.
Ooh, now we're all restricted.
It's a better amount for this question.
$50 million.
That's enough. You can basically do more or less whatever you want other than buying one of the casinos. But you can do anything else that you want. And you could even buy Trump Plaza or Atlantic Club.
Yeah, so I'm buying Atlantic Club.
Mm-hmm.
And
what are you going to do with it?
I'm going to scrub the thing. I'm going to make it look as original as possible. And I don't know. I'm just going to revel in the fact that this thing is an awesome Wynn property and I love it. And I'm going to open the Dizzy Dolphin and it's just going to serve me drinks all night. Other people can come in if they want, but they don't really have to because I've been given a hypothetical $50 million. I guess I would go get a casino license. I don't know.
You'd have to pay whoever Caesars to remove the deed restriction.
And I think that's probably less than $50 million, but
yeah,
I'll find out.
What do you think it is? What was it? Like $20 million? Did they announce
it for?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they announced a number for like what they wanted.
If I had to guess, I would say $20 million would be my guess.
I bet they'd give it up for less than that.
Maybe.
Especially once they close Bally's and they're like leaving the market altogether. Anyways, what are you doing with $50 million?
I don't know. I don't even know. I just wanted to ask the question because I thought it was a better number.
Are you taking the Disney Dolphin, basically excavating it, bringing it to your house, and setting it up as an exact replica?
Yes. And I don't think my ceilings are high enough. That was pretty tall ceilings.
Go in your backyard. Or go in your backyard.
Yeah, that's true.
It's perfect. I think that's it. Question-wise.
I mean, I really do think that some sort of renovations to the airport is actually the best thing to spend whatever amount of money in Atlantic City, given my last answer.
Yeah.
I don't have any desire to own a casino or anything like that. That is not what I want to do with my life, so...
Yeah, I mean, I think if I was really being honest about like what would be better for the city with $50 million, I would probably open a really kick-ass brewery and tasting room. And
what are you going to do with the other $49 million?
Right. I mean, and make it brewery and tasting room Disney World. Done.
Unless you did it at the Taj Plaza site after you bought it and tore it down and then made a really kick-ass brewery and tasting room.
Yeah, I'll do those two things.
Mm-hmm. And
it'll extend the walk. How's that?
Yeah.
Are we getting closer? Good. Do I still have $20 million left over?
No, I bet that's pretty expensive.
Yeah, I think the teardown's going to be expensive.
It's probably about right.
So, Vegas Fanboy on Twitter asked, why are you guys such punky millennials? I'll hang up and listen.
I mean, it's not something you choose. You're just born that way.
Yeah. There's no answer to that. It's just the way we are.
It's something that is decided at your birth.
Yeah, I mean, we've been killing things left and right based on the news. Like, I think millennials have basically killed every consumer product, according to various alarmist news organizations. So, bar soap, I think millennials have killed. So, probably gambling, I think, is the next one you're going to see. Gambling. Millennials have killed gambling.
Yeah, that's true.
Millennials killed Craig's dream of a $1 billion Willy Wonka Disney World of the Mid-Atlantic. Unbelievable.
Don't let them kill your dreams, Craig.
I know.
They've taken so much else from you, even though you're one of them.
They really have.
Like bar soap.
Yeah. I need my bar soap. I need my Caesars scented bar soap. Which, we talked about, I think, like 30 episodes ago that Caesars was changing their bar soap. That never happened, by the way. It's still the same bar soap. So that's an update. Don't ever accuse us of not following up on our previous episodes.
Rotary phones also killed by millennials.
Yeah, can't believe it. Probably
if they were more patient, they would have thought it was acceptable to wait 5 minutes every time they had to dial 0.
To be fair, if anybody would bring back rotary phones...
That's true. It would be like a hipster.
It would be hipster millennials.
It would be like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
We had a rotary phone when I was a kid.
I was like, oh, you're still dialing touchtone? It's gross.
Yeah.
My rotary phone is organically sourced and sustainable. Served in a mason jar.
All right. It's 12:30, so it's time to end this.
So 11:30 was the over-under for finishing the episode.
But we actually started it at like 11:30. So.
Yeah, I think we nailed it.
Anyway, thank you guys very much for listening. Do you want to interact with us or any of the other fans of the show? Fans in quotes. You can go to our Facebook group at facebook.com/group/DoForAWin. You can find our content at DoForAWin.com. Find our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, or YouTube, which has surely been fixed by the time this episode will be posted.
Surely.
Reach out to us on Twitter at DoForAWin. And by us, I mean Craig. And send messages to Craig at DoForAWin@gmail.com. Thank you guys very much for listening, and we will talk to you soon.
Mailbag. Bag of mail.
Mailbag. Derp, 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 derp.
Is that the jingle?
That's the strong bad, yeah. I'm wearing boxing gloves right now.